one day somebody does something unspeakable to someone else, to someone you hardly knew, and you do something about it because you can.
This story is brought to us from yahoo.com. A patrol car windshield is not a prop. No, that's a lesson that one Pasadena, California police officer apparently had to learn the hard way after he fired a round from inside his police car and something happened to one of his fellow officers. Yeah. Now, leadership is categorizing this as horseplay. So the incident itself happened last September, but the department released dashcam footage of the shooting publicly last week. And the video does not disappoint in the ability to raise eyebrows. What? The footage captured by the in-car camera of the vehicle driven by the officer who fired the shot shows the inside of the Pasadena Police Department's parking structure. Two officers are standing near a parked patrol vehicle when a third officer pulls up behind them. One of the standing officers responds to the approaching car by doing something that would alarm most reasonable people. He drew his firearm and points it directly at the officer in the incoming vehicle. Yeah, that's smart. He holds it there for a few seconds and then reholsters it. What the camera does not capture is what comes next.
To the officer pulling up through the parking garage. There's one officer in the driver's seat of this car, and then obviously you see the two other officers standing right here. Now watch the officer on the right. He takes his weapon from his holster and points it directly at the officer that's driving the car. He then reholsters it, and in an apparent attempt to do the same thing, the driver officer accidentally fires and shoots his partner in the shoulder inside of the police parking garage. You see him get out, run over. They render his aid. Now, the chief has called this unacceptable. You see his partners coming over. This turned into what is actually technically an officer-involved shooting. So Force Investigation Division from the Pasadena Police Department came out. They took crime scene photos, the whole 9 yards. The officer is okay. There's the video one more time where you see the officer on the right draw his weapon, and then the officer in the patrol car draws his and accidentally shoots and hits his partner in the shoulder.
It is by any measure a textbook demonstration of how not to handle a loaded service weapon. He had to be told that. Chief Harris accompanied the video release with a statement noting that the wounded officer has since recovered and that the officers involved have been disciplined. The case, however, is far from closed. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office has opened a criminal investigation into the incident, meaning this particular garage stunt could carry consequences well beyond a formal reprimand. Chief Harris confirmed in a statement that the driving officer's firearm discharged, striking the windshield first and then the standing officer's left shoulder. Oh! The department says the footage was released as part of its critical incident transparency process, and it is now evidence in the ongoing district attorney's investigation. Now, the windshield detail matters more than it might seem at first glance. Modern police vehicle windshields are standard automotive glass. They're not ballistic glass. A round fired from inside the vehicle at close range is always going to travel through that glass. That this apparently surprised anyone involved says something unflattering about the judgment on display in that parking garage. Chief Harris described the conduct as unsafe and out of policy horseplay involving loaded firearms in the critical incident video and made clear that such behavior is inconsistent with the department's expectations. Really? Are you kidding? The use of the word horseplay to describe one officer pointing a loaded gun at a moving vehicle and another drawing and firing in response is, charitably speaking, a generous interpretation. Horseplay? Yeah, it implies the sort of roughhousing one might associate with a locker room rather than an armed standoff in a law enforcement parking structure. That framing, though, carries legal significance, classifying the incident as unintentional misconduct rather than deliberate misuse of a firearm shapes how both the administrative and criminal investigations proceed. The district attorney's office will draw its own conclusions. The shooting remains under investigation by both the Pasadena Police Department and the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. Chief Harris has confirmed that administrative disciplinary measures were taken following an internal review, but declined to specify whether either officer was placed on leave or what form the discipline took. The names of the officers involved have not been released, and the district attorney's involvement elevates this well beyond standard department HR territory. And it goes down. There's a little more to it there. It goes down a little farther, but the basic gist here is a couple of things. Well, the district attorney got involved, so there could be criminal charges. Yeah, right. But the names have not been released. So, if they weren't cops, if this was like somebody, maybe the two guys that shot each other, drunk guys in a home, and they shot each other. John Smith and Joe Peters shot each other in a drunk horseplay in their home. But there's cops involved. Don't say nothing. We don't want them to know who the cops are because they got to patrol the streets later. And you don't want them to know, oh, you're the cop that shot the dude. I look at your name badge. No. So I think it's BS that they're not releasing their names. We want to know. Why? Because when they're patrolling the street and they walk up on a traffic stop, somebody can go, look at your name. Are you the guy that shot that cop? Don't shoot. They don't want any of that. So don't say their names. But if they weren't cops, we'd have their name, their address, their phone number, what their dog's name is. And then they call it, the last thing, horseplay. No, horseplay is wrestling in the front yard and you both fall and you go, I got you. That's horseplay. Horseplay isn't pulling a gun and firing it. That's not horseplay. That's called stupidity. What do you guys call it? Let me know.